Greetings, everybody. This is IP Resilience. In front of me, I have a very special person. She's a Kiki Vale, and she's a radio personality. She's award-winning voice-over talent. She's a seasoned speaker, and she's MC, and she thrives on the microphone and in front of the live audience. She's amazing entrepreneur. She's a female, the first female airborne news, entertainment, and traffic reporter in Chicago. And you know, her voice is impossible not to remember. You know, everybody wakes up with her voice and go to bed with her voice. That's how influential she is over Chicago. She's the queen of Chicago news and the queen of Chicago radio. And that's what she's known there. She's the gala queen. She loves to go to the gala and she blows everybody's minds with that. So she's also founder of 2000 of her own brand, Kefi Life. And you should hear the story that is behind that. That is absolutely mind-blowing and so magnificent. Kiki, how are you, girl?
Good morning. It's so good to be with you. And thank you for that fantastic introduction. I don't know, it's kind of big, but I did it. Thank you so much. It's great to be with you. Thank you for thinking of me.
And you know, like we always did like a Greek way, right? Greek style, oppa.
You've got to have fun in life. Come on.
That's what I love about you, your personality. You're just this energy. And it's like, and I love Greek, you know, the culture, the food, especially, you know, we make baklava a lot, you know, the grape leaves, you know, so many just energy with that. And of course, when you have a weddings, oh my gosh, it's like
our weddings have a lot of tradition to them, and we do a lot of socializing and bonding. And I just love the fact that our weddings, well, as an Orthodox, we have a sacrament.
Yes.
So we celebrate so many different aspects of two people getting married, and then we have a great time, and we have something called Kefi, which is positive energy for life and releasing that joy. So I love being Greek.
Yes, and I love hanging out with the Greek. It's so cool. I love the movies and all the, like I said, you know, when you have a gatherings, it's just like, you know, the energy boosters, you know, like everybody has a great time. Everybody's always like at least happy from any, you know, the events. So Kiki, tell me this, what is the story behind your company? You know, you are the global entrepreneur, and there's a special story that I want you to share with all of us.
I'd be honored to share it. It's really special to me. Kefi Life is a lifestyle brand that is rooted that you have to harmonize the mind, the body, and the spirit. And when you do that, you create a life of ola kala. In Greek, we say ola kala, which means all is well. So nothing is perfect and nothing is ever the same. But if our mind, body, and spirit are harmonized, then we can proceed forward with all is well. I started talking about Kefi and Kefi Life just because I like the concept back in 2000 when I had my radio show, the Kiki Vale Show. And the concept was picking up and resonating with folks and listeners. And we started chats and we started talking. I had sponsorships from like Kohler Water Spas and Marriott who wanted to be involved with their brand and my brand, combining the all is well, healthy mindset. And healthy means well, and well means that you feel good about yourself. Yes. Things that you talk about, one of the things that you talk about, ILONA, is resilience. Resilience. You have to bounce back. And that's one aspect of Ola Kala. So I had my show for about 11 years, and then I decided to formally trademark and brand Kefi Life. And it's been a long journey, you know, step by step, one step at a time. There's been some humps, but I have a website, kefilife.com. And then I just recently launched a podcast. But you want to know about the story. And tell me when I'm talking too much, because blah, blah, blah. I'm a big talker.
You are Greek, and I want to, you know, wake up, you know, like I'm still sleepy. So please wake me up with your energy.
Come on. Come on, ILONA. You look great, and we're having a wonderful day. So let me just tell you. Well, you know, and then that has to do with this interview and this energy. It's what we feel inside. Do we feel thankful? Do we feel grateful? Are we going to seize the day? We don't know what's happening tomorrow. We don't know. We don't know what's happening in 4 hours. But right now I can make the decision to seize this moment. Carpe diem, but I call it Kefi diem. So seize it with energy, seize it with a lot of fun. But back to your original question is the story. I digress not. my mother, who was my shining angel and a person who forever motivated me, inspired me, lived bravery and courage, who was one of 8 children and lost her mother when she was 6, developed this very thick skin and this love of learning and always seeking a way to live full, if you will. And she sort of by osmosis imparted that on me. But at the time, I didn't really, you know, I just thought it was just who mom was, my Manula. That's who I thought she was. I just thought, well, it was who she was. Her energy and her direction towards health and wellness and her love of natural living was something she tried to teach us for many, many years and that I kind of rejected. And then as she got older and I got older and I had my family and my children, I really needed that extra, let's just call it self-care for myself. And I was kind of going back to what she was teaching me, all those concepts and principles, like what you talk about with resilience and bravery and keeping on and don't give up and doing your best and being your best self. And so it was slowly, those little seeds had been planted. And I never thought, as close as we were and as much as she inspired me and as much of an impact that she had on me, I never thought about, oh my God, what if I lose her one day? I just always thought she'd be around. I just thought she'd always be there because she always was. And so in 2016, when she got cancer and passed, she got cancer. We had a very long journey with her. I'll never forget the day I was talking to you in the car. We had just sort of met through integrative nutrition. And we were trying to connect in person. And it was really tough because you were, I think, in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. And I was in Chicago and my mom was sick and I was going back and forth to see her. And you were so compassionate and kind, listening to me and letting me just talk about how much she meant to me through this pain and suffering. So I really appreciate that. That's another aspect of Ola Kala, is listening to friends and having a lending ear. And I'll never forget that in my life. I was in a car, parked on the street. I pulled over. I was supposed to be home. I had just gotten bagels. I remember I had just gotten bagels. And you were so inspiring and so kind that I'm like, I have to pull over for 10 minutes. I need a minute here with her. So back to my mom, when she passed, it devastated me because she had always been my confidence. She had always been my inspiration. She had always been my get up and go. Come on, you've got this. And I had to find that peace in me. I had to find that peace. And that's when I'm like, I'm going full force with my company. And of course, my husband's extremely supportive. He's been extremely supportive in so many different ways because he's focused and analytical, and I'm creative and love, and I want to help you, and let's do this. So that's kind of how the story happened. Her love of wellness and health and natural living and the truth. She always used to say, Kiki, look for the true, the good, and the beautiful. And that message resonates with me. And that's really what this company also is about. Look for it. It's out there. What are we looking for? Are we looking for the negative? Or are we looking for the positive?
Yes, that's so, like, influential, to be honest with you. I know not everybody's so fortunate to have a mother just like we have, who were like angels to us, who were inspired, who have a stories, who have planted the seeds, like you were saying, one thing at a time. And I know we as some mothers, we know every time we want to speak to our children right now, we feel that we are invisible because the influence of the social media is so grand right now that we feel that no matter what we say, what we do, our kids do not see it. But I want to encourage every mother out there, despite of the social media power and negativity or positivity, still be the voice, be that seeds that you're planting on daily basis. Tap, tap, tap into their head. And you never know, right, how our children will going to turn out. Maybe one day our voices will be so prominent in their lives that they will be just like you, Kiki, founding their own companies based on their mom's voice in their lives, who will live forever. Your legacy that you're putting out there right now through your company, your mom is living. She is the foundation of it. And I know that it will be blessed. It's not going to be easy. I know in the beginning it wasn't easy, but it's so much worthy. Right now, you're the global entrepreneur. You are the voice of Chicago. You are the queen of the gala in Chicago. And, your energy, I can feel it, through like a 6 hours from wherever we are right now. And that's what I love. And people, I see how people are around. Every time they're around, you make them feel like they know you forever. You make them feel so great. Tell me more about Greek, Greek tradition. I'm so fascinated about that.
Well, that's really another part of the foundation of this company. It's part of who I am. I'm a Hellene or a Greek. Back in the Roman days, they would call Greeks Hellenes. Well, we would call each other Hellenes, but then the Romans called us Greeks. So Greece is the culture of Western civilization. We started with philosophy and medicine. One of my favorite doctors, who is a doctor who is revered to this day, is Hippocrates or Hippocrates. And Hippocrates says in his oath, one of the oaths is do no harm.
Yes.
So you first begin with, when we're talking to somebody or when we're doing something for ourselves, make sure that it does no harm. But back to Greece, it's beautiful. We have so much, the culture is so rich. We've inherited such a culture. It's the people's culture, really.
Yes.
It really is. It started with the Acropolis and the Parthenon and all of the philosophers. And to this day, we look back and we lean upon the teachings of those philosophers like Plato and Socrates and Aristotle. And much of what I learned through them, I impart through the Kefi Life lifestyle, which is know yourself, understand who you are. Well, and the list goes on and on. But as far as the culture goes, I love the Mediterranean diet. We have a very fabulous diet, which is plant-based mostly. We have seafood and chicken, but we eat everything in moderation. Pan metrion ariston, which is a word in Greek. It's everything in moderation. So everything in moderation. So if I'm on a diet, let's say, listen, if I have a sweet tooth, I can have a little piece of cake, but I can't have the whole cake. Mm-hmm. When I'm going out to have fun with my friends, I can go out and have fun, but I don't need to stay out till 3 a.m. I used to. But the culture is just so full of life. It's vibrant. The islands are gorgeous. Have you been to Greece?
Not yet, but it's in one of my to-do list, bucket list.
Put it on your bucket list, honey. It is, if I tell you that as a child, I used to go to Greece every summer and we would go to my father's village. My mother was from Nemea Corinthos, which is Nemea is famous for the wines. And then my father's from a small village called Zabelatio. Corinth is where Paul spoke to the Corinthians.
Wow.
As you know.
Yes.
So we would go to Corinth every summer and we would just stay in my dad's village. But as I got older, I'm like, we need to see more of Greece. We need to see the islands and go to the cities and all that. So some of my favorite islands, Crete, Spetses, Milos, Patmos, Santorini, Mykonos. I mean, they are phenomenal and almost like a recharge to your body when you go.
This is just so I'm just envisioning myself being in Greece right now.
I saw that. I saw you visualize yourself right over to Santorini.
Right. I'm like, okay, I'm there. And I love the Greek food. That this Greek food is I can eat every day, it's just so good. And I absolutely I base my concept on that, one of the philosophers, the first doctors, he says this, and I have the quote. It says that eat your food as your medicine. So you don't have to eat your medicine as a food later. Right now, our concept is, we are so consuming of this big amount of food, and we don't even know what we are putting in our body. But if we are conscious enough what we eat, if we respect ourselves and love ourselves enough, just like you said, respecting yourself, knowing who you are, then you will put only good things in your body, and it will be like a medicine, for your soul, for your mind, for your physics as well. So I absolutely love it. And at school, of course, I've learned a lot about Greek philosophers and Plato and Aristotle and it was very fascinating. Their life questions: what's the happiness, what's the life, essence of life. Actually, I'm using one of their teachings in my books as well. So it's just so fascinating.
Which one? May I ask? Which one?
It. Yes.
Which teaching?
The opium of the almond tree. I use a lot of their teachings there. So in kind of expanding on them, and it just becomes so beautifully presented, and I absolutely I'm fascinating about. I'm answering their own questions in a way that we understand the life, years, decades and millenniums now from what they have started. And it's just so amazing. So Kiki, before we say goodbye to our audience, I always invite my guests to speak to one soul, to one person out there. So let's say this is the first time they met you and they probably will never have a chance to even, another opportunity. I want you to speak to the person to encourage them today. What would you say to her or him?
I would say to him or her, I would say, believe you can. Believe you can. This is a really simple book that I purchased on Amazon. I want to read your book too. But this book, the reason I like it is you can just read if you're having a day and you're kind of doubting yourself or you're down in the dumps and you just need like 3 pages, but it will turn into 3 chapters because it's so uplifting and easy. And I've highlighted the book. I've underlined certain sentences. And this one says, fear is faith in reverse.
Wow.
Fear is faith in reverse. Begin somewhere. Your words reflect what you believe about your future. Mm-hmm. If you say you can do it, you will do it. Yes. And that was one of the expressions that my mother imparted on me, which was, and I hope I don't botch this up, a man convinced against, basically, if you think you can do it, now I'm forgetting because I'm getting emotional, but basically, if you think you can do it, you will do it. Yes. And that's what you have to put in your mind. So just always remember that you can do it. And if you need a little support, this book is by John Mason, The Power of Positive Attitude. It's really easy and I really like it. And then also remember this, especially during Corona, when we've had so much fear thrown at us, when we've had so many problems, when we've had so much isolation, remember, Epictetus said, you cannot change the environment or the climate, but you can change your thoughts. You can change your thoughts and you can change what you do. So everybody, let's get busy taking care of ourselves and harmonizing the mind, body, and spirit. And please check me out, Kefi Life, on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Quad Pod, and KefiLife.com. I would love to know that you're listening and I can inspire you even further.
Amazing. And with this note, I'm going to tell everybody, yes, you can, claim this back and you have to take care of yourselves. You are not responsible for what others think, say, or do. You are responsible only what you think, say, or do. And you can achieve if you put your mind into it. You are capable, you are strong, you can do it. That was Ilona from IP Resilience, and we're going to say goodbye to you guys. We'll see you next time in our another episode. Bye, Kiki.
Bye. Thank you so much.